look at PowerPoint slide number 1. And there's a familiar sound that we all know. It's the crack of the bat. Joe Carpenter from Fox Sports says it, in no other way, that the crack is a distinct sound that we all know. When we hear that sound, we know it's a home run. Speaking of home runs, when I was a kid, I grew up with the great baseball announcer, Howard Callis, just calling out every home run. That ball is out of here. And that sound and Howard Callis made me fall in love with baseball. But baseball changed, and not so much on a professional level, but on the amateur level, and they started using the aluminum bat. And that sound no longer happened anymore. That the sound was more of a tin sound, a tin that was unfamiliar to baseball purists like myself. And as time went on, the numbers of baseball started changing. The batting averages were going up, and baseball home runs were going up, injuries were going up, severity of the injuries were going up. Things like this started really changing the game. And if you look at PowerPoint slide number 2, it shows the 2 reasons why I believe that metal bats should be banned from baseball. Now, some people will say, well, aren't you going a little overboard with that money? And I'll be like, oh, absolutely not. In 1998, there was a study called the Crisco-Greenwald batting cage study that proves that there is a difference between a wooden bat and an aluminum bat. If you look at PowerPoint slide number 3, it will show you the parameters that they used in this study. And the study proved that using an aluminum or metal bat, the ball came off the bat at speeds between 100 miles an hour to 106 miles an hour, compared to a wooden bat that on average came off at 98 miles per hour. You would say, well, that's not a huge difference. Well, that is a huge difference. That difference is that little split millisecond that could get you out of the way or not get you out of the way. And it is a very dangerous game to play, especially when we're playing with our kids. Just think about that. 106 miles per hour, this flying fastball is coming at one of our kids. We only drive cars at 55 miles per hour on most highways, but we'll allow a baseball to come at our kid at 106 miles per hour? It's ludicrous. If you look at slide number 4, it shows the NCAA rule about this. This is a rule that was put into place to try to minimize the ball speed coming off the bats to keep it down to a 102 miles an hour. There was a problem with that also, though. They didn't factor in the pure strength and speed of individual players. They just, in close situations, used bat brands, and they said, okay, you could use this type of bat. It didn't matter how big you were, it didn't matter how strong you were. They said that this bat only did 102 miles an hour, and that was it. That's a ridiculous rule. Anyway, not only the safety issue, it's the integrity of the game. That Florida State, there's a Florida State player, McDougal, that owns 2 big baseball records. Home runs in the game and RBIs in the game. 6 home runs in the game and 16 RBIs in the game. This is ridiculous. You could see these stats in NCAA.com. In one game, he was able to do this. But when he got drafted in by the pros, when he was forced to use a wooden bat, he only got 2 home runs all year in 84 games. That proves it right there that the same player using 2 different types of bats cannot do the same thing. Metal bats are bad for the game. If you look at the last slide, it shows 2 kids that were severely injured by metal bats. We have to ban them. Please contact a congressman or any hometown representative and get these bats banned. Your kids will thank you for it. And I would